Let's start right off with the cream of the crop, the one that will never be beaten until someone makes a game built exclusively around throwing knives, Cyberpunk 2077. A dense catalogue of expressive blades, each with subtle infusions of the techno future. What Cyberpunk nails more than any other game in history is the flourish, how your character can handle a knife with a butterfly-like dance, like a visual garnish for the meaty dish you're about to slice into. Of course, being an RPG means you can combine Cyberpunk's abilities with knife throwing to become a supreme queen of knife and Night City. My favourite is the time stop ability, allowing me to fulfill the anime fantasy of being Sung Jin Woo. Thankfully, Cyberpunk also understands that realistic knife throwing isn't that fun, as you can't quickly acquire new knives to throw as easily as you can shoot bullets. So there's a cooldown timer before the knife warps back into your hand, meaning as long as you acquire a collection of knives, you should have infinite ammo. The one knock against the throwing knives in Cyberpunk is that they are essentially useless in a firefight, as the decreased rate of fire and a lack of stealth damage bonus makes it a suboptimal playstyle. However, you can still stay in character as a knife thrower if you have a melee build with a katana or any other kind of bladed weapon, which makes Cyberpunk the best knife throwing experience currently available in gaming. However, it's far from the only excellent implementation of knife throwing, it's simply the most expansive. For another sublime example, we can turn to another 2020 game, Ghost of Tsushima. It would be embarrassing for a AAA ninja game from the premier AAA publisher to mess up such a crucial aspect of ninja combat. I know he's a samurai, but the ghost is most definitely a ninja. What Ghost of Tsushima nails so well about the throwing knives, or kunai I suppose, is the impact of the weapon. Where Cyberpunk makes the knife feel sleek and lethal, Ghost makes it feel like a bone-shattering lightning bolt. This is shown through the animation. As Jin throws the weapon, time slows for a brief moment, and the tip of the blade glows with a blue intensity. Now, this is purely aesthetic, but what this animation communicates is beautiful. The time slow indicates the strength behind the throw, showing that Jin is putting an incredible amount of force behind the toss, and the glow shows the concentration of sharpness in the blade, how all the power is focused at the tip. Combining these two effects creates an immensely powerful feel behind the throw, further emphasized by how it literally shatters an enemy's posture, making Ghost of Tsushima have the most impactful knife throwing of all time, albeit without the depth and style of Cyberpunk. I would be remiss to mention a massively popular franchise with a healthy dosage of knife throwing that I'm not intimately familiar with, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, a responsible YouTuber would actually play the game so they could critique, but if everyone else gets to have an opinion on a game before it's even released, then why should I have to actually play something to review it? The real reason I'm not going to play any Modern Warfare multiplayer for this video is because I have too much self-respect for myself / fear I would really like it and become addicted. But that doesn't mean I have no praise for the COD knife throws. Without a doubt in my mind, the greatest knife throw in interactive, nay media in general, belongs to the finale of Modern Warfare 2. As Soap wrenches a blade nestled deep within his flesh, and orgasmically unsheaths it from his torso, time begins to slow as he brandishes the weapon and gracefully flings it through the arid air, piercing Shepard in his rage-clouded eyes. And as this excellent finale reaches his climax, he falls to the ground, with the holy weapon delivered to its ultimate resting place. Whilst the scripted nature of the scene does take away from some of the special sauce only a game could provide, as a cinematic scene, it was un magnifique œuvre d'art, and I have no notes whatsoever. To show I'm not biased, I should mention at least one franchise that scorns the name of knife throwing for the sake of comedy. Whilst it's admittedly hilarious, I must ask you, viewer, at what cost? If we don't hold something as awesome as knife throwing as sacred, then what, if anything, is truly sacred? Hitman isn't a game about combat or weapons. Hell, I don't even think it's a stealth game. This is a puzzle game through and through, where you solve one problem in infinite ways with the many tools at your disposal. Some of these are throwing weapons, whilst Hitman takes the cake in terms of variety, with things like hatchets, katanas, screwdrivers, scissors, and even starfish. In terms of absurdity, Hitman is unrivaled. But with this variety comes a sense of sameness. It isn't all that special when everything can be a weapon, and the feel of the throw feels wholly unsatisfying due to the simulation-like feel of every level. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about whether Cyberpunk 2 will have to reuse the open world.